So what is going on, guys, and today is finally time to do the Xbox Series X review, which, yes, I know you might see some on YouTube already, I've already done this kind of thing, but this is it's kind of more in detail, shall we say. So let's get into it. Now, we all know, before I even carry on with this kind of video where I go into detail about what it contains and what I've tried and all that stuff, let's just say, well, you might have seen in my video previously about the launch of Series X and the PS5, is that I'm actually getting one at the end, but it took me a long time. So with that in mind, I would best check out a website called Curry's PC World Business, which, yes, it is still Curry's PC World, but if you live in the UK, Curry's PC World is basically a bit like any sort of normal tech store where you get computers and all stuff if you're from anywhere out of the UK, like if you're in America, like that. So that's where it's basically based. But first off, with the Series X, I think the design of the console is nice. It's really good. I mean, yes, people out there have slammed it for being like a little fridge, should we say, or like a giant box, should we say, or like like a cube or a cuboid, if you call it these days. Doesn't fucking matter. I don't care. In my opinion, the design is simple. It's sleek. It's not overly complicated. It's not like a complex sort of piece of equipment where you see it like certain shapes and sizes and flashy designs and this, that, and the other. It's a simple Xbox console. It's simple. It's easy to see. It's it's quite, not only is it eye-catching, but it's also just simple to look at, because you look at the PS5, right? Yes, also the PS5 looks pretty good, but if you compare the consoles, right, the PS5 looks quite complicated at times because it's much bigger, it's much wider, which means obviously they've gone ahead with that. The controller that comes with it is pretty much a hybrid of the with the controller of the Xbox One, the normal Xbox One, and the Xbox One, was it the Elite series, if I'm right, where they've kind of copied the Shield-ish sort of D-pad that you see. And they've added a share button in the middle where you can record gameplay without having to go on the Xbox menu all the time. They've added more grip at the back of the controller, onto the triggers, onto the bumpers, onto the back of the handles, where you can actually feel the controller properly and actually get better, more. Well, obviously, like I said previously, it's just more grip just to handle the games better and probably even play better. You never know. More in terms of how the console performs, should we say? It loads fast. It loads very, very fast. I mean, there's clips out there on YouTube where they've recorded how GTA 5 loads fast on the Series X compared to the Xbox One, and it shaves off minutes of loading time. It turns from minutes to seconds. Genuinely, from minutes to seconds. It's incredible. I mean, considering that the power of the console is 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. I mean, it's incredible how they've made it more powerful, and you can play games. Not only perform better with better frame rates and better resolution, but they actually play better in terms of responsiveness as well. I mean, I've noticed some menus in games as well. You can move around options and parts of menus faster. Games tend to switch from one side to another from a menu very quickly. It contains a lot of expensive hardware, which is usually seen in PCs, really. For example, it's got a built-in 1TB storage where it has SSD loading data, which means it loads games, like I said before. It loads within seconds instead of minutes. The storage-wise, 1TB is good to start off with. It's more than the PS5. It's a good standing point to start off with for the launch. So okay, fair enough. But in the end, that 1TB will eat up fast, especially with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War coming out, and that is, as far as I'm concerned, is the same size as Modern Warfare, so around 200-ish gigabytes, which is, obviously, do the math. That's 1/5 of the storage gone after just one game. It's incredible how games are bigger these days and how they take up more storage nowadays. It's madness of how they take up so much storage, but that's, I think, one of the downsides of that is how the games are in terms of size. But it's not the console being too small or not enough storage. It's just the games need to be minimised nowadays. I think it's going a bit too hectic with that. You're going to be forced to buy that Seagate storage external device where you can get. That's the only one that actually works with the console. That's one of the downsides, I think, with the console. I think it's that if that wasn't so expensive, it would have been alright to get, but it will pretty much, right, it's basically to double up the storage from 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes by having an external hard drive, and apart from that, it's got 12 teraflops of power, which is insane for a console. I mean, that's usually seen in PCs, like I said, in custom game PCs have that power. This is a console here, a gaming console, so it's incredible for that. I mean, fair play to him for that. And like before, it's got SSD loading data. I mean, it's obviously going to look like it's faster in seconds. And with that in mind, you can tell, and I also said before, it's more powerful than the PS5, which is, again, one thing I do believe is probably that they have one over than the PS5. But I'm not saying that it's better than the PS5. It's just that's one of the areas where it does tend to get one over. It's got a lot of backwards compatible games. It's got thousands of games backwards compatibility. It goes back as the first Xbox, the Series X. No, the first Xbox to the 360 to Xbox One to the Series X. It plays so many games. There's thousands to pick from, especially if you get the Game Pass as well. Game Pass, either the normal one or Game Pass Ultimate. Either way, you're guaranteed going to play games, and you're guaranteed to play so many of them as well. So many old games that you can look back at, a bit like a retro sort of vibe. All that positive side, the two downsides I see for it is, like I said before, with the external hard drive being very, very expensive, and the fact that the main menu is exactly the same as the one on Xbox One. There's no differences at all. I mean, maybe a couple of 1 or 2 things here and there where it does make things a bit more easier to look around, where except before, the menus do load faster, they run better, they perform better, so that is what I do accept and I'm happy with. But since the design is a little bit can be complicated and it can be improved in some regards, but considering that they haven't changed it at all, it's a bit lazy, I think, from Microsoft. But on the other hand, it's a very good console and I'm very much enjoying it, and I'm loving it with all the games that you can play with backwards compatibility, and how much power it has and how games play better. So it's only a good thing, and it's only a good console to get, so I recommend getting it as well. But again, I'll say it again, it's not a sponsored video, it's not sponsored, there's no promotion here. I'm not going to say go and buy it, here's links, here's that, here's there, here's that. I'm just saying where you can get it from, and that I think is a good console, and that's it. So that's me being opinionated. So I think overall, my overall score is going to be 9 out of 10. Very good console, 1 or 2 things here and there, but apart from that, it's very, very good to get, and it's very much worth £500 odd. Very much worth it. So on that note, enjoy the video, leave it a like, let me know in the comments down below about what you think, and if you believe that the console is worth it or not, and like if you prefer the PS5, it doesn't matter, let me know in the comments down below, we'll have a discussion on that. So, lastly, leave a like, subscribe, notifications on, you can see in the corner right here, there's a Christmas tree. Like I said, blame Soul Gaming for that. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe, notifications on, and I'll see you later. Adios!